So I don't know how to do introductions, but basically this video is for anyone who's stressed the fuck out. Well, more specifically stressed the fuck out about their first year at UNCSA's film school because I just finished mine. So this video is basically going to be a reflection of everything that I learned and everything that I experienced or did or stressed about during my first year at film school at UNCSA. Hope it helps. If it doesn't, I'll be a sophomore. I'll be a second year next year at UNCSA and you can beat me up for lying. So first off, life on a film set. This is literally what caused me to go bald. So after orientation, getting introduced to all my professors, learning all the ropes and lights and lenses and filters and cinematography, most of the people in my class started working on fourth year films. Now I worked on 3 of them last year as a PA, as a production assistant, as a craft services person, and finally as a sound PA, or like a sound utility assistant person thing. They were all 3 super different experiences. For pretty much all of them, I had to wake up at 5 or 6 in the morning, run to the crew van out in the film village, pile into it with everybody else, and drive off to set. Unless I was on sound, then I got to be there an hour late. When you're on sound team, you get to show up late and leave early. If you're not a big fan of being on set, that might be something you want to look into. But yeah, call time is usually like super early. Like it's still dark out, can't see shit. Is it even really morning early? So like I said, we'd all get in the crew van at about 5 or 6 in the morning, drive to set, have the safety meeting, set up crafty or tables or chairs or whatever if you're a PA or a crafty person. Then you'd film the first shots of the day, or like we'd film until lunch, and then you have lunch, maybe do a company move to another location, then you film the rest of the day there, and then you all pile in the crew van and go back to campus. And the whole thing lasts about 12 hours from when you first leave school. I wasn't the biggest fan of working on set last year, but being on set actually taught me a lot about the ins and outs of filmmaking. But I'm not gonna lie, it was stressful. The fourth year films last about 6 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday for 2 weekends, and they go on no matter what, like rain, snow, sunshine, hell, fire, like it doesn't matter. On one set, they literally had me flick a light switch for 12 hours straight every time the camera rolled to keep people from coming inside the stage for 12 hours. But the experience of learning what parts of crewing I love and hate helped me realize new interests that I never knew I had. Like for instance, being on sound team. I didn't realize how much I actually liked sound until I got those jobs on set. And throughout the year, I managed to move up from a sound PA to a boom op to being the sound mixer on a second year film and on an outside project. So you kind of start at the bottom, but if you put energy and effort into every opportunity you're given, then word of mouth spreads quickly and people become eager to hire you for more, I guess I should say, interesting jobs. Also, it helps you see how much energy and excitement a crew can create when we're all excited about the same project. It helped me learn that film is all about collaboration and the connections you make. Like, it doesn't matter. It could be the AC you ran to get water for, or the sound mixer who ends up telling you where the best place to get fried chicken in Winston-Salem is. Those connections stick and they actually help you out later. For instance, the sound mixer I'm talking about that told me the best place to get chicken actually ended up playing God in my spring scene. So that just goes to show what type of connections you can get just by being on set. I love all of my professors at UNCSA. If you get Eric Eason for directing or Stacker T for screenwriting, you are set for life. I'm sorry. The relationships I ended up having with my professors taught me even more about filmmaking than just inside the classroom. And it also helped me see my professors as people and not just as people who'd worked in the film industry. Talking to them outside of class helped a lot because I could talk to them about anything I was nervous about or just life in general or movies or honestly just whatever. I honestly think the professors at UNCSA are like one of the school's greatest assets because they're so eager to listen and uplift you as an artist. They also block you on Outlook. Honestly, I'm not sure if I should tell the whole story on here or if I should just encourage you guys to ask Stacker T next year, why did you block Desiree on Outlook? I would love to see the look on his face. But I love Stacker T though, he's amazing. The whole Outlook situation's basically an inside joke at this point, but I would love to get other people in on it. So moving to North Carolina from Germany was like a huge culture shock to me. And I was super homesick for like the first 3 or 4 months. And it helped because there were people on campus that spoke German and like would talk with me about just Germany and German stuff and bratwursts and drunk people and all that stuff or whatever. It did get hard, and it's gonna be hard especially for international students, or if you're from like really far away from North Carolina, like when your friends go back home on breaks to Raleigh or New York or Georgia or whatever, like anywhere super close, and you're kind of just stuck hanging around North Carolina because you can't go home. The sadness and the homesickness does eventually wear off, like as you start to hang out with new friends and focus on schoolwork and stuff like that. If you can call home like as often as you can, that usually helps too. I know it's hard though because time zones can be a bitch, trust me, I know. But in the meantime, when you can't go home, there's actually a lot of interesting stuff to do in Winston-Salem. There's an art gallery hop every first Friday of the month in Winston-Salem's downtown area. There's a bunch of restaurants, art stuff, and clubs. Should I be telling y'all about the club? Y'all are adults, it doesn't matter. Basically, there's cool stuff around, you just have to look. Or if you've got a car or whatever, or money, like neither of which I have, you can just drive around North Carolina with friends on like a day trip or a weekend trip if you don't have anything else to do. My friends and I took days where we would just drive somewhere, like we saw the world's largest chair, 2 of the world's largest dressers. We saw this bridge that was supposed to be haunted by some ghost named Lydia. She wasn't there, but it was daytime, but whatever. We even saw the place where District 12 of the Hunger Games was filmed. Literally just anywhere if we thought it was cool and we were bored. If you can, take time to explore because life is more than just film and college is more than just obsessing over schoolwork in your dorm and getting blocked by your professor on Outlook. Please ask him about that. UNCSA is pretty small, but there is stuff to do. There's an open mic night every Wednesday, I think, in the What, which is like a coffee shop on campus. Artists of Color has multiple meetings throughout just about every month, I think. There are usually off-campus events that sometimes are organized by people. Most of the time you can find them like out just outside the cafeteria, like on the posters or stuff, or people advertising volunteer workshops and stuff like that. But most of the time you will be on campus working on whatever. The film school schedule is actually pretty chill. So I think last year, like I think last year if we weren't on set, we were pretty much able to do whatever. We were able to just get on campus for a day and hang out. But yeah, campus life is essentially what you make it. Like there's stuff to do and there's things being offered. Like sometimes they'll have, we're at school, we're not big on sports obviously, but sometimes there are like capture the flag games or volleyball games going on like out by the elephants. Or you can just, just make your own event or club or sport thing to do. Like honestly, it's literally what you make it. You can literally do whatever you want. Word of mouth is a big thing at UNCSA. Because it's such a small school, word spreads fast. And every other week you hear something about somebody or something going down on a film set, or somebody doing something weird in their interview or in their portfolio review or whatever. Basically just a bunch of weird shit. That's why I think it's most important to stay busy and get off campus often, because the drama that happens at this school doesn't just stay in the acting department. There was a lot of weird shit that happened last year, and the least of it was that somebody broke the TV in the laundry room and nobody would admit to it, so it never got fixed. I'll just leave the gossip from last year at that. But people are blacklisted for being problematic. Films become infamous for having production issues. Reputation essentially becomes everything because word of mouth is everything. If anything, it probably represents the film industry perfectly because that's probably how it works in real life. But staying positive, appreciative, and unproblematic is definitely the way to go. At least that's been my approach. Literally, it's the University of North Carolina School of the Arts. There's so much to see and be inspired by. Dances at the Stevens Center, plays by the drama students, shows by the D&P kids, concerts from the music school. I should have seen more than last year, so I'm suggesting this to anyone who's watching now. Also, be sure to make friends from outside of film. I've got friends in dance, D&P, music. What's the other one? Drama. Yeah. And it's helped me to learn about other areas of art and the diversity of interest at my school. Also, being around film people all the time can be tiring. You can learn from other film students, collaborate, be friends, all that good stuff. But I feel like that expands when you meet other people outside of your discipline whose passions and personalities aren't too familiar to your own. And you can collaborate with them too. Get them to make music for your films, make props for your films, act in them, dance in them, whatever. Just use them. Well, don't use them. That's not okay. Just make friends with other people. I don't think there's ever been one situation in life where making new friends was bad advice. Wait. No, I don't think so. I can't tell you how much I struggled with this last year. It sucks because you're finally in a position where you feel like you'll either finally make it in the industry or you'll just break yourself trying. And And school's really competitive. Like, you'll see people crewing 10 weeks in a row, pumping out outside projects, making interdisciplinary films, all while you're still trying to catch your breath. It gets hard not to compare yourself, your efforts, and your struggles, especially to other people. And at least that was my biggest problem. And it's hard to accept that sometimes there are going to be people that are just better at some things than you are. There are going to be directors with more individualized, personalized styles, writers who can write better dialogue than you, or cinematographers who can get the perfect shot or the perfect frame every single time, editors that can make really cool effects in their sleep. There's always going to be someone that's better at something than you, but there's nobody that can do it like you can. Maybe your perspective on film is different than most. Maybe your dialogue isn't so great, but the storylines you come up with are unmatched. Your peers might recognize something in you that you don't even recognize in yourself. You have to remind yourself that just because someone else has talent, that doesn't subtract from your own. I'm not saying to go around and be snooty like, oh, she can write stories, but can she sound mix though? Appreciate other people's talents as much as you do your own, and be willing to learn from them. Also, know yourself well enough to know when you need a break. It's not good to wear yourself out and still be wondering if you're even doing enough. Or if you're one of those people that can manage a project every weekend, that's good too. Make those connections, put your name out there. Take opportunities whenever you can, and make your own whenever you're physically, emotionally, and mentally able to. It's okay to go at your own pace, however fast or slow it may be. Just don't rub your work ethic in anyone else's face. Be humble, stay confident. We're all going to the same graduation ceremony for the same BFA in filmmaking. And we're all tired as fuck, so. Relationships. Ugh. I didn't have any, but in case anyone's like interested in it, not with me, but like I mean like in general, you can have one if you want it. I know a lot of people are so focused on their studies that relationships are literally the last thing on their mind. I'm one of those people. Relationships at UNCSA can happen. From what I've heard, they can be awkward if they end badly, especially if you're in the same discipline with the other person, especially since the school is so small and you'll probably literally see them everywhere. So most people tend to date off campus or find people off campus to hang out with and hook up with. But we're all adults. We're trying to be, and a big part of growing up is realizing whether or not we're emotionally mature enough to accept a relationship with all its benefits and consequences. Realize what you want first. Do you want a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or both, or none? Do you just want to hook up? Do you feel like you're not ready or your studies are more important? Would you rather have a relationship with someone off campus? All those are cool. Just be sure what you want before you go looking for it, especially on a campus where gossip is prevalent. Just be safe, be smart, and if you have to, buy condoms, but not from the pod, because those shits are like $5 for 3 in a pack, and I still think that's so disrespectful, even though I have no use for them. And that's it. Everything's gonna be fine. You're in the school of your choice. At least I hope so. You're gonna study what you want. At least I hope you will. There are gonna be so many people that want to uplift and praise your art and collaborate with you. You're gonna find a new family here. I promise. Honestly, it's summer break and I can't wait to get back to work. Like, I've been working on scripts and writing up pitches just to get ready for next year. Also, I'm gonna be in the Bailey Apartments with 3 amazing new roommates, focused on our craft, on becoming better artists, and on raising our new fish son. Well, we're going to name, I think, well, I'm planning to name him a fish named Slickback. And if anyone gets that reference, you are my new favorite person. You're gonna be an adult. You can make your own decisions. You can finally get away from your parents and have a little independence. You can get a job on campus and get paid for it. I work in the film archives and I choose my hours, and it's great. You're gonna make your own life choices. Shave your head or don't. Get great advice from your teachers. Go to the club or don't. Try new things, make new friends, have a relationship or not. Eat a pickle, high five Hector. You're gonna stress about whether or not you're even meant to be in this industry. You're gonna stay up for numerous nights, pumping out scripts, production packets, pitches, trying to get all your shit together. And even if you realize that film, or maybe even UNCSA, is not right for you, I have friends that are transferring next year after their first year of filmmaking, and they're gonna be okay too. No matter what happens, you're gonna work your way up to where you're meant to be. Everything's going to be fine. And if I'm wrong, I'll be a second year next year and you can slap me for lying. So yeah, that's my experience at UNCSA for my first year as a film student. I hope it helped anyone else who's nervous about their first year or super anxious about going to college for the first time. I can't wait to go back because I love this school. I love everything it has to offer, and I love everything that is going to make me and the other people in my class. We're gonna be, honestly, we're all going to be iconic, and you will be too in whatever you end up doing. That sounded super cheesy. I don't know how to end videos again because I don't know. Anyway, I hope this video helped and I can't wait to see you next year. Bye.